Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Mother's Day out to all the mothers. I decided to do this special podcast today for the mothers who are missing and their children that are missing, their mothers that are missing. I thought it would be a good thing to do for Mother's Day to get these cases out and seen so maybe we could get some of these mothers back home to their children and their loved ones. Hope you guys are all having a great day and we'll go ahead and get started on some cases of the mothers that I have flyers and stuff out for. If you are missing a mother, please let me know if you would like me to get her information out and do a flyer for her and get her story out and stuff so we can get her located. Um, our first case, this is Kajara Jane Frazee. She went missing from Belmont, California on February 23rd of 2023. She is 22 years old, 5'7", 154 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Kajara was 35 weeks pregnant at the time of her disappearance, and she should have given birth to her son. Kajara was last seen at 10:39 p.m. in the area of Belmont Avenue and First Street, leaving on foot. She was wearing a black shawl, black hoodie, gray sweatpants, and black slip-on shoes. She does live in the city of Moreno Valley, but was with a family member in Belmont when she had became upset and walked away from the family member's vehicle at that location. The photo below on her flyer is the photo of the area where she went missing and her walking away. She is not familiar with the Belmont area. Kajara has not been seen or heard from since. Loved ones are concerned for her and her child's safety and well-being. If you have any information regarding Kajara's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Belmont, California Police Department at 951-769-8500. Her case number is on the flyer as well as her NamUs database number as well. It is very concerning when a pregnant mother goes missing, and knowing the fact that she should have already given birth to her child is concerning as well. So, anybody in that area, if you work in the medical field or emergency services or anything like that, and maybe she came in and please let law enforcement know um, that you have seen her. This next story is out of Pennsylvania. This is Janet Ann Walsh. She went missing from Shaler Township in Pennsylvania on January 20th, 2020. She was 70 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 73, 5'3", 300 pounds, blonde hair and hazel eyes. She does use a cane or a walker due to her limited mobility. She was last seen in Charlotte Township, Pennsylvania on January 19th, 2020. And she had invited her daughter to dinner that next evening on January 20th, 2020. However, when her daughter arrived at her mother's home in the 100 block of Dolores Drive, her mother's silver and black 2018 Chevy Trax with a Pennsylvania license plate number KTW6007 was not there. Her phone was left inside her home, and she has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Janet's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Allegheny County, Pennsylvania Police Department at 412-473-1200. Her case number is on the flyer 00227-20. She is also in the NamUs database as well. And it would be such a great gift for these mothers to be able to come home. The biggest thing that I can always tell people is please share these flyers, share these podcasts out there. There's one of the biggest things that people can do for families of the missing is getting that information out there that someone may know something. And even if you do know something or remember something, it doesn't matter how long ago it was. Any tip can be helpful for law enforcement that could break open a case in order to find these individuals. If you guys are out here watching, feel free to ask any questions. Let me know that you're out there. This next case is Jordan Elaine Smith. She went missing from Concord, North Carolina on April 4th, 2021. She was 27 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 29 years old. She's 5'5" and weighs 120 to 150 pounds. She has blonde hair, but does dye it different colors and has brown eyes. Jordan has a left eye dermal piercing, tongue, ears, and nose in the middle above her upper lip and below her lower lip. She has a tattoo on her chest with lips and the name Cohen with a crown over the K and Sterling with a red heart on the back of her neck. Leopard printed down her right arm, which is brass knuckles in the shoulder, and there is a gun in the lower inside of the print. She does have other tattoos on the top of her hands, a skull with flowers on her left shoulder, back fingers with letters and a pitchfork symbol in lower left inside her arm. If you can see those photos that are there, they are also on her flyer. She is also known by Jordan Barbie. Jordan had been staying at a hotel in Canopolis. It was reported by a friend that she had left with an unknown short, chubby, tattooed white male from the QT convenience store located at Clover Plaza in Canopolis/Concord area. She is known to frequent different homes in the Canopolis, North Carolina area. If you have any information regarding Jordan's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Concord, North Carolina Police Department at 704-786-9155. Her case number is 21-07345. She is also in the NamUs database. I know that her family has a page up for her as well, and hoping to get some information and get her back home. This next case is out of Belmont, Texas. This is Dara Lorraine Joseph. She went missing on June 1st, 2017. She was 33 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 39 years old. 4'9" to 4'11", 120 pounds, blonde hair, which is strawberry in color, and hazel eyes. However, as you can see from several of her photos on her flyer, she does dye her hair in different colors. She does have multiple tattoos as well as her septum, nose, and ears are pierced. She was last known living with her boyfriend in a camper in China, Texas. There is a history of domestic violence. She had made last contact with her family member in Portridge, Indiana around the end of May or the 1st of June of 2017. She had said she was going to come visit in Portridge, but had never arrived and has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Dara's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Jefferson County, Texas Sheriff's Office at 409-835-8411 or the Portuguese Indiana Police Department at 409-762-3122. She does have Jefferson County case number, and she does have a case number in Portridge PD as well, and she also is in the NamUs database. I know that her children would love to have her come back home and reunited with her family. Like I said, I know this is a very hard day out there for family members and stuff when missing a loved one at any time, but especially for mothers that are missing. This is one thing that I really like to always point out is mothers usually don't leave their children. A lot of these cases, these are mothers that were very much involved with their children, very active in their lives, and just suddenly to disappear was completely out of their character. So if anybody out there has any information on the whereabouts of any of these individuals, please contact law enforcement. Contact if you want to leave a message on my page. You're more than welcome to do that as well. But please just reach out. No tip is too small to help maybe locate some of these individuals. I know a lot of their stories have some history with domestic violence and stuff like that, but still these individuals need to be located and found. I know people do make judgments and stuff at times about people's relationships and why maybe they didn't leave, but none of that matters. What matters is this is a mother who was missing. Her children desperately love her and miss her, and we need to get them located. This next case is an older case from 1991. This is Andrea Jerry White. She is missing out of Humboldt, California on July 31st, 1991. She was 22 years old at the time of her disappearance, and she is now 54 years old, 5 foot tall, 115 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does have a 5-inch scar on the left side of her temple, and she does go by the nickname Chick. She was last seen wearing a black leather jacket, white shirt, Levi jeans, and possibly sneakers. She was carrying a black and white duffel bag with a purple shirt, black sweater, black spandex tights with lace at the ankle, and black satin pumps. It is not known if she had her ID on her at the time, and she did not have a purse. She was last seen in the Blue Lake, California at 1:30 p.m. on July 31st, 1991. She had been to a court hearing there in Eureka, California, and was hitchhiking back to Hoopa, California, where she was living. She was last seen on Highway 299, just east of the Blue Lake exit. It is not confirmed that she may have gotten a ride in a green or white 4-door Chevy Impala with snow/mud tires. I know that her children are desperately wanting to have her located and found and to know what has missing. Her children were very young at the time and are now adults. If anybody has any information regarding Andrea's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Humboldt County, California Sheriff's Department at 707 445 7439 or 707 445 7251. Her case number is 199-104-76. She is also in the NamUs database. The newest update on her case is there's a $10,000 reward with any information that is leading to her whereabouts. So again, if you have any information, please reach out to law enforcement and let's get Andrea back to her children and her loved ones. This next case is out of Seminole, Oklahoma. This is Carrie Marie Cox. She went missing on May 15th, 2022 at the age of 41. She's 5'4", and 5'6", 100 to 120 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Kara does have a tattoo of a green Care Bear, as you can see in that picture, on the upper right arm, and a scorpion on the back of her neck. She has a round purple birthmark on her left shoulder blade. Kara's car is a green 2000 Honda Civic Del Sol with a tag number LEQ736. Was confirmed towed from the Love's Travel stop at Seminole exit of 1 I-40 on May 20th of 2022. Kara was traveling with her boyfriend, who drives a truck, and he said he left her in Arizona. He returned with all of her belongings except for her cell phone. On June 8th of 2022, law enforcement received a possible sighting of Kara near Joseph City, Arizona, walking on the back roads of St. Joseph City on the west over the bridge on June 3rd of 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Kara could be on foot or hitchhiking. If you have any information about Kara's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Seminole County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Department at 405-257-5445. Her case number is 22-0536. She also is in the NamUs database. I know I mentioned you guys the NamUs database a lot. This is a government database that has cases in them. They also can give information about those cases. You can find out if there's cases where they've been excluded on any unidentified remains, but also it has DNA. It'll let you know whether there's any DNA in the database for that information. And I always strongly encourage families. I know recently they have been finding a lot of remains and unidentified people. The NamUs database does have that information in it as well. No matter where someone went or where they went missing from, it's always a good idea to be checking out when remains are found to see if possibly it could be your loved one. It's never the outcome that we would ever want for a family, but it is that possibility. Also, making sure that loved ones do give DNA to law enforcement so they can be checking into it as well if they do come across a case where it could be a possibility match for the loved one who is missing. Like I said, it is never what we want it to be as a result, but it's definitely a possibility that could happen for a loved one. So I just always encourage families to definitely get that DNA into law enforcement and stuff so they do have it on file. And if you guys come across any reports of remains being found, that you guys check into them, even if it's not in the area that your loved one went missing. And like I said, there have been a lot of cases recently. I do try to get as many possible shared over to the Guardian page in the group page for you guys to be able to keep up and see cases of where people are being located. This next case is out of the Bronx in New York. This is Cassandra Brianna Ramirez. She went missing on September 19th, 2018. She was 25 years old. She is now 29, 5'2" to 5'3", 100 to 130 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Her hair is brown naturally, but it's also curly, but she does straighten it. She does go by the nickname Cassie. Cassandra had a cesarean scar on her abdomen, a scar on her forehead, left pinky finger, and below her left breast. She has 8 scars from previous stab wounds. Both of her ears are pierced, as well as her tongue and navel. She does have a birthmark that resembles Puerto Rico. Cassandra has a tattoo of Jaden Isaiah with a tribal symbol on her arm. She has a Pisces sign on her hip. Those are the 2 pictures that I have for her tattoos. They are not the greatest, but those are the best that I have found. So if there is any family that does see this and have better pictures of her tattoos, please reach out to me so I can update her flyer. Because Cassie was last seen wearing a black leather gray hooded sweatshirt with a white blouse, blue jeans, and black sneakers, leaving her residence on the 800 block of Melrose Avenues in New York at 11:40 p.m. She was last seen on surveillance footage going down the stairs and going down Melrose Avenue and then heading east on 161st Street. She said that she was going to meet her ex-boyfriend, John Kylo O'Brien. She has not been seen or heard from since. Cassie did not have her ID, passport, credit cards, or a car when she went missing. Family was concerned when she did not return a week due to her missing her child's birthday. A family prior to her disappearance, she had testified in a grand jury on a rape charge she had endured, or a rape that she had endured when she was with her boyfriend. When she went missing, and it was dismissed. It is unclear if this has anything to do with her case. Her ex-boyfriend has changed his story on whether he met up with her or his claim that he dropped her off at the Hunters Point train station, which there has never been any evidence of. If you have any information regarding Cassandra's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the New York City, New York Police Department Missing Persons Squad at 212-694-1943. Her case number is 2018-1943. She, too, is also in the NamUs database. This next case is one of the oldest cases that I do have. This is Patsy Dolores Riddens Clark from Little Rock, Arkansas. She went missing on March 4th, 1987. She was 55 at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 91 years old, 5'2" to 5'3", 165 to 180 pounds, brown hair and green eyes. She does have scars across her forehead and the bridge of her nose, as well as on her abdomen from a cesarean section surgery. She had previously fractured her lower left leg and pelvis. She was last seen by her ex-husband, who she was still living with despite them being divorced. He had stated that she had gotten into a yellow cab, number 289, and was en route to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and unknown if she had arrived or records of the cab fare. Social Security checks were a source of income, and her checks in March and April of that year were cashed. However, the following 6 months were sent back. She has had no contact with her loved ones. Patsy does have a history of domestic violence much of her life. Patsy was legally declared dead after 5 years of her disappearance. She was known to travel and would visit different places such as Memphis, Tennessee, Hot Springs, Texas, Oklahoma, and other places in Arkansas. If you have any information regarding Patsy's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Little Rock, Arkansas Police Department at 501 371 4510. Her case number is 8741-6268. I will tell you that her case is active, um, and there are leads and stuff that they look into, and they look into anything that comes across her case. They definitely have not let her case go cold at all. They just family keeps working hard on getting any information involving her case. Someone posted, "Thank you, Tatum, for all you do for us in the constant search for our loving mothers. Your comments are on spot when it comes to a mother abandoning her children and disappearing. It doesn't happen, but maybe rarely. Most of our mothers would never just walk away. My mother had too much to walk away from and never make contact. Knowing mom as I do, she never would have left. Someone or multiple persons have to be responsible for her disappearance. The search continues." I don't know if it didn't all get on there. I'm not for sure who did post that, but you're very much welcome. Like I said, I will continue being the voice for you guys. I too am a mother, and I would never leave my children. So, and that was David Clark. That is Patsy's son. He is wonderful at helping, not only working on locating his mother's case, but he is a huge advocate also for other missing families. That is one thing that I have to really say about a lot of my family members that are out there, to see them not only rally and be the voice for their loved one, but they fight hard also for other missing individuals. Um, I agree. As a mother, I would never ever leave my children. So even today, I would never leave my children. I totally agree that mothers don't leave their children behind ever. I mean, there could be, like you said, a case here and there, some sort of circumstances that maybe they left. I know that has happened, but the majority of mothers will not leave their children. So again, guys, keep sharing flyers, keep being the voice, reach out, if there's anything that you may do, and that you can do to help these families. Like I said, sharing the flyers and stuff is a great way, but I just want to thank all the families that not only fight to find their loved one, is the support that you guys are giving to each other, and I just think that's amazing. Okay, this next case is Melissa Trumpy. She is missing out of Shannon, Illinois on October 26, 2021. At the time of her disappearance, she was 37 years old. She is now 38. Her height is 5'10", 163 pounds, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Melissa does have the following piercings: her nose, her upper lip, 3 studs in her right cheek, and 4 in her left cheek. She does have multiple tattoos, which I do have some pictures of her tattoos. She has a heart in the middle of her chest that has swallow birds, left thigh with a skull with other multiple tattoos covering the rest of her leg, her right arm with lotus flowers and koi fish, and on her back with footprints with the names and dates. Melissa was last seen in Monroe, Wisconsin, traveling to Shannon, Illinois with her boyfriend. She was last seen wearing a black Michael Kors jacket with unknown colored shirt, underneath blue jeans that had holes, and unknown colored shoes. Melissa and her boyfriend were traveling in her silver Toyota Tundra, which was located the next day abandoned on Bolton Road in Stevenson County, Illinois. All of Melissa's belongings were still in her car. Melissa has not been seen or heard from since. It is very out of the ordinary for her to not have contact with loved ones and not to be with her children. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Melissa's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Greene County, Illinois Sheriff at 608-328-9400 or the Greene County, Illinois Crime Stoppers at 800-422-7463 or Carroll County, Illinois Sheriff at 816-244-2630. One thing that I will say about Melissa's Trumpy case is her case has definitely been getting more and more recognition. Law enforcement have been more active in her case and looking into her case. Her family has been a family that has been very vocal in her case. I will tell you that her boyfriend is currently in jail, not for anything related to Melissa's disappearance, but for other crimes that he has committed, which is one thing that the family really worked hard on getting him in jail so he couldn't hurt anybody, because he does have a history of domestic violence, not only with Melissa, but with other girlfriends in the past. So, like I said, she does have a page out there. You guys can follow her story and everything. But like I said, the law enforcement agencies are definitely taking her case a lot more serious. There's been searches, and they are really working hard to get her located. Someone wished me a happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I thought this was one of the best gifts that maybe I could give out to you guys is getting your mom's stories out there and everything for them. It's something that I felt like I wanted to do for Mother's Day. So this next case is Rachel Lucille Cyrix. She is missing out of Mitchell, South Dakota. She went missing on November 12th, 2013. She was 30 years old at the time of disappearance. She is now 39, 5'5", 140 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does have scars on her abdomen, and she has a dimple on her right cheek. She does have brown hair, but she may have blonde highlights. Rachel had several tattoos. She had Bradley in black script on the left side of her neck, a blue Playboy bunny logo on her left hip, black tribal type heart on the lower middle back, and two large red flowers, a tree in the initials RJ, that were on her right arm, extending from her wrist to her elbow. I do have some pictures of those, as you can see. Rachel was last seen in Huron, South Dakota. Brad, her husband, stated that she had picked him up at the gas station and they drove home, which is about 20 minutes away. And then she drove him to a friend's house. This is the last time that she had been seen. In December of 2013, her gray and black 1995 Chevy Silverado pickup with South Dakota license plate number 4CH637 was found on a bee farm in Huron, South Dakota. The truck had several damage to it and it was inoperable. The bee farm was owned by Tyler Griffin's family, who is a friend of the husband, Brad, which is where she had taken him the day she went missing. I do have a picture here. Rachel had this green and white quilt that was in her home, but the day that she went missing, that quilt went missing. This is something that law enforcement has put out there, and it is important to her investigation in her case. So it does have, I don't know if you guys can see on the picture, but it does have this patch that does have her name on it. So it is a unique quilt that was made for her. Rachel and her husband do have a history of substance abuse, and their children are in family custody. Rachel had been working on getting her life back together and getting her children. She was in the process of getting divorced and had filed a protection order against her husband. Foul play is suspected, and her husband is a prime suspect in her case. If you have any information regarding Rachel's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Sanborn County, South Dakota Sheriff's Department at 605-796-4511 or the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation at 605-773-3331. She is also in NamUs, and she does have two other case numbers that are out there on the flyer. I also have on her flyer a picture of her truck, and I know even though that truck has been found, it may jar someone's memory back during that time where they would have seen her truck and could possibly have a tip or a lead that could help solve her case. Someone said, Tatum Gray, thank you for taking time out of your own Mother's Day to represent the missing. Absolutely. Um, this is something that's important to me, and I want to be able to help families get their loved ones located. I have 4 more cases to share with you guys. This next case is out of Pineville, South Carolina on July 16, 2022. This is Ruth Jackson Jenkins. She disappeared. She was 77 years old. She is now 78, 5'6", 135 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does wear glasses, and they were black at the time when she was last seen. She does suffer from dementia and is known to wander around. Ruth was last seen walking in the 1800 block of Highway 45 in Pineville area of Berkeley County on July 16, 2022, around 2 p.m. If you have any information regarding Ruth's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department at 843-719-4465. She is located in the NamUs database as well. I want to thank you guys also for taking time out of your guys' Mother Day and celebrations to watch the podcast as well. It was a last minute thing for me to do, but I really just felt like this was something important to share. This next case is out of Rapid City, South Dakota. This is Susan Lacey Fasseagle. She disappeared on May 3rd, 2021. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is 31 years old now. 5'2", 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does wear glasses. She has a tattoo on her left arm that says Milinsko and a hatchetman on her right arm. Susan may go by the name Susan Chief Eagle. She was last seen by her boyfriend. She was last seen with her boyfriend, Verdell Brownbull in the area of the Memorial Park in Rapid City, South Dakota. Verdell has also been reported missing to the Ogallala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety. There is a $3,000 reward for information that leads to Susan's location. If you have any information regarding Susan's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Rapid City, South Dakota Police Department at 605-394-4131. She also, too, is located in the NamUs database. This next case that I am sharing both mother and child together. They did both go missing. This is Tina and Bethany Sinclair. At the time of their disappearance, Tina was 34 years old. She is now 56 years old. She was 5'2", 120 pounds, blonde hair and green eyes. Her daughter Bethany Ann Sinclair, she was 15 at the time of her disappearance, and she's now 37, 5'2", 120 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. They went missing from West Chesterfield, New Hampshire on February 4th, 2001. Tina does have both of her ears pierced. She has a vertical surgical scar on her abdomen. She does have a butterfly tattoo on her right ankle, and Tina had a broken arm and collarbone previously. Tina, at the time, had a long, well manicured nail. Bethany, 15 at the time of her disappearance, does wear glasses, and she does have a U-shaped scar on her head. She may be wearing a necklace with a crucifix/cross pendant. Tina had a nickname of T. She had recently graduated from cosmetology school and was wanting to open her own salon. Tina and her daughter Bethany lived with her boyfriend Eugene Von Bowman Jr. on Mountain Road in Chesterfield, New Hampshire. Eugene Bowman had told authorities that Tina and him had a disagreement and she had left the house and returned later that day. He had stated that when he returned later that day, he said that Tina and her daughter Bethany were not there. Both of their clothing was missing. However, other belongings, including Tina's 15-year-old cat and vehicle, were still at home. Tina had never been heard from again, which is very out of the ordinary for them not to be heard from. There's been no activity on bank accounts, cell phone, credit cards, or social security numbers. Tina and Bowman's relationship was not stable at the time. Bowman had a history of being a sex offender, and his family was concerned for Bethany's safety. Bowman did serve 2 years after the disappearance for molesting an 8-year-old daughter in the 1990s. Tina nor her daughter were reported until February 10th. The last person besides Bowman to speak to Tina or Bowman was Bethany's boyfriend the previous night at 11:30 p.m. on February 3rd. They were making plans for Valentine's Day, and he had purchased a ring for Bethany. On February 5th, after their disappearance, an unknown female had called Ken High School to report that Bethany was ill and would be out for the day. On February 4th, the day of the disappearance, Bowman was seen on his yellow Scat hovercraft at 4:30 a.m. However, after an extensive search in that area, it was unproductive and did not produce any leads to their case. Bowman has not been cooperative with the investigation, and no arrests have been made. He is a person of interest in their disappearance. If you have any information regarding Tina or Bethany's disappearance, please call the New Hampshire State Police at 603-223-3856. Someone out there does know something about these two individuals. I know that their case, there is a lot of concern for safety with parties that knew both Tina and Bethany. And there's a lot of information that is out there that I'm not able to release. But if anybody has any information on their cases or about them, you can always be anonymous and report things anonymous to law enforcement. If that's something you feel you can do, you can always reach out to me as well and give a message. I'm not for sure who this is. Thank you with all your help with my baby. I'm not for sure who that is, but you are most welcome. Sometimes I can see who is talking to me and sometimes I can't. But you guys are always in my prayers, and I will do anything. I'm always available to you guys at any time. This last case that I do want to share is Andrea Michelle Knable. She is missing out of Louisville, Kentucky. She went missing on August 13th, 2019. She was 37 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 41, 5'7", 180 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She did have blonde highlights in her hair at the time of her disappearance, and she does have a scar on her face. She was last seen wearing a light colored tank top, white cotton shorts, and Nike tennis shoes, size 8.5. She was carrying a flat white purse she kept in her back pocket and her cell phone. She was last seen on foot in the area of the 4000 block of Fincastle Road in Louisville, Kentucky at 1 a.m. It is said that she was heading back to her mother's home. Andrea has had no contact with loved one or activity on social media, which is out of the ordinary. Andrea's phone and her flat purse have not been found. If you have any information regarding Andrea's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Louisville, Kentucky Police Department at 502-574-7111 or TLPI Investigations at 502-427-1010. Her case is still very active, and her family has been looking for her since she has disappeared. Also, as well as other individuals that have been helping out looking for her as well. Like I said, if you have any tips or anything, please reach out to law enforcement. You can also reach out to the private investigator that is on her case as well. So that is the last case that I have for you guys today on this Mother's Day. I want to thank again all the families that share these cases with me. I pray every day that these mothers out there will be located and reunited with their children. I do want to say a prayer in closing, like I always do. If you guys have any questions or you do see this podcast and you are missing a mother, please reach out to me. I would love to help you get that case out and their story out so we can help get them located. So if there is nothing else, I will go ahead and say a prayer and I will close out so you guys can have the remainder of your day. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together to share these cases to the families that are continuously looking for their loved ones, especially the children that are missing their mothers. But I also want to say a prayer to all those mothers out there that are looking for their children. You too are amazing people. The mother's love, I think, is one of the most unbeatable powers out there in the world. We as mothers will fight hard for our children and will do anything to protect them. And I do agree, me being a mother and also a child of a mother, that you would do anything to help out your mother and would never abandon the thought or anything with them. So please, dear Lord, please help law enforcement work and get clues and details into these missing persons case. Also, please continue to give the strength, the hope, and help us keep pursuing and being the voice for these mothers. And of all else, thank you, Lord, for everything that you do. I know we don't always understand when these things happen and our loved ones go missing, but I know that if we keep faith, we will come to the truth. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a great day, you guys.